Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. I am really excited to have Taylor Danielson, our community coordinator at Technology for Living, here to talk about the Apple Vision Pro.
Thanks for joining us. It's great. Actually, people don't need an introduction. You all know Taylor from previous videos. He's our favorite guest. And Taylor, just maybe give us a quick introduction to the Apple Vision Pro.
So the Apple Vision Pro was debuted, I believe, last year, 2024, 2023. It is Apple's entry into the virtual reality headset, the virtual reality headset market, although they describe it as mixed reality, I believe. And it is a big giant device you wear on your head, just like you've seen from companies like Meta, who have the Quest Pro, the Quest series of devices, and some other competitors as well. So it was Apple trying to break into this new market, and I know Ian and I both had our eyes on it as soon as it was launched, and we were counting the days until it was launched in Canada, and then I think both of us kind of forgot about it. And then I was at the mall one day, and I said, "Hey, I want to go try that."
So, did you actually try it at the mall? Like that's something I've wanted to do since it was released.
I sure did. I tried it, and boy, oh boy, was that just run-of-the-mill Apple employee just quaking in his boots. He didn't know what to do with me, and he was terrified from the get-go. But there was a very friendly manager of the Apple Store who knew what to do. They had a little huddle, and they figured it out, and they were actually able to set it up to work well for me through I guess tools they have on their end as the Apple Store, and they were able to engage the dwell feature immediately. And for those who don't know, dwell is a way of interacting with certain devices. And basically, you would move your pointer, if you're on a computer, over a button, and then you would wait, you would dwell, and then that button would be pressed. And the way you do that in the Apple Vision Pro is with your eyes. So I did a brief calibration, and then I would look at certain UI elements, and after holding my vision there for a certain amount of time, I was able to press the button. And then I was able to go through and experience their standard suite of demo videos and activities.
That's great. Well, and it sounds like it is a relatively simple setup process as well.
It was. I think it was. It was. Uh, Spoiler. I bought one. I was wowed, and I purchased one there. And I said, no, I'll set it up at home. It's fine. So I got it home, and I could not set it up independently. I did have to get someone to help me for the first, you know, few steps to actually turn on some accessibility features like Dwell. Once that was on, things were moving again, and I was able to complete the rest of the setup independently. But I did need a little bit of non-disabled assistance to get things rolling, but it was minimal.
Is the setup done through like an Apple device, like a phone, or is it on the buttons on the actual
It is done
Vision?
entirely through the headset.
Okay. And so you just needed people to help you with those buttons and the scrolling until you can get that dwell working. Right.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. You can use hand gestures. That's the way that you will typically interact with the device if you're using it normally. And I had to get somebody to do those gestures for me until they could enable the dwell feature for using eyesight.
okay. once you got it set up, what types of things could you do with the Vision Pro? Not only yourself in your environment, but what types of
Mhm.
things can others do?
Well, first and foremost, I want to tell you how I actually did end up controlling the device because I got irritated with Dwell immediately because it's slow and I'm not used to it. And I'm impatient. I know that I'm impatient. So what I did was I used switch control on my iPhone. A switch is just a button. I press a button, it does something on my phone. We use them with probably the majority of our members. We have a great many in the TIL warehouse. They're amazing. They're great. Within the Apple ecosystem, you can share switches between devices. So I can share the switch that's connected to my phone with my MacBook, with my Apple TV, and with the Vision Pro. So what I managed to set up was turning on switch control on the Apple Vision Pro, sharing my switches from my iPhone, and with this combined, using my eyesight, I could look at something and then press my switch to do the click. So instead of looking, waiting, I could instead use my switches to do that quickly. And I also had the full power of the switch control context menu. So I had abilities to do a lot of different things, which was, I think it was awesome. It was a fantastic way to interact with the device. I don't think it was perfect. I think there was some problems in perhaps translating switch control, which typically works in a two-dimensional world on your phone, on your computer, to the very three-dimensional world of the Apple Vision Pro. There is a few little quirks here and there, but just being able to click and then have it activate something was phenomenal. It was a great experience and I loved it. To answer your actual question of once I got the controls working, what did I do? I spent the first, I think, day just exploring a lot of their demos. And one of them was they have lots of videos which are filmed specifically for the Vision Pro. And the one I watched was a Metallica concert. It was a 30-minute video going from them backstage onto the stage and playing some songs. And it was a surreal experience that I've never had before. And I love Metallica. Metallica was my first concert that I went to. And it was filmed with all kinds of specialized cameras, and you were right there. I did try leaning back to get a little bit more comfortable, and I ended up looking at the ceiling of some stadium because the camera captured a full 360-degree view, and that is available to you. Like you could turn around and face away from the stage if you were a psycho. Um, you could see everything. So it was a really unique experience, and I think they have a lot of really cool just demos of multimedia, and that was I think my primary purpose when I bought it. There's secondary ones as well, but primarily I was looking to consume media in a different way that was comfortable and on a big screen, a big view, big format. And I think the Vision Pro presents it in a way that is unique in all the best ways.
I do like on the demos on their website where it shows you, they have an overhead of a plane and somebody watching a movie on their phone, and then all of a sudden somebody behind them with the Vision Pro, and the screen's just massive.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yep.
that would be unbelievable. Travel, Ian. There you go for your next flight.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it is just like being in a theater. Like the view of the screen, it is a very very fun thing to experience from your own home. It's hard to describe, but it is. I don't think they're misleading with what they're advertising. I think it is truly theater like.
So aside from watching concerts and movies, what else were you able to do with it?
I was able to do some basic productivity, such as opening and reading emails, some word processing. Uh, Word processing, that's an old term. I was able to do some dictation of emails and other written work, which I found that the voice control features, which I did enable as well on top of switch control. Same with my phone, I have voice control and switch control going simultaneously because sometimes one is better than others, and I think they complement and work well together to get a more complete control over your device. So I found voice control actually worked better than all of my other Apple devices. And as you can tell from my headphones and the iPhones and the MacBooks I've mentioned, I have a lot of them. I think it worked best on the Vision Pro because the microphones are all right there on your head, along with the speakers, which is its own special kind of technology where it sounds surround. But the microphones are there, they're on your head, they're perfectly positioned to capture your voice. And I think it worked better than anything else I have. It was really impressive, as it should be.
Yeah.
So yeah, just some basic work I was able to do. Um, it was it was challenging to manage the windows that you have floating in your field of view, utilizing just switch control and voice control. It was doable, but I think I would hope that it would be improved somehow for future iterations, whether that be software or hardware, to make it more. I don't even know the words, but it didn't work as well as it would if you were somebody who was using their hands to move windows around. That's very fluid. Using
Sure.
switch control, it worked, but it didn't always work the best.
Okay. What what about the weight? How how did you find that? Because I know when I've used like VR headset in the past, I found them almost too heavy where my head was going down.
Yeah, it's a heavy device, and bear with me while I look it up. It must be real heavy. Um, hold on.
Well, as you're looking that up, that takes me back to our skiing episode where you duct taped yourself again. Maybe when you're using it, you can duct tape yourself.
Yeah. Last time I used a VR headset was at these music studio, and it had a tether. It wasn't wireless, and so somebody held the tether almost like it was a pigtail, and it was able to support my head and my head side to side. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to use it.
Right, right.
So the Vision Pro weighs 650 grams. It can vary depending on the light seal and the headband you're using. It is heavy.
That's 2.5 pounds.
Um,
That's
yeah, it is a heavy device. And I was able to manage it for I don't think I wore it for more than an hour, but that was more just I was done with the device for that moment. I was okay with it. I think it's surprisingly well balanced. And I don't know how you do that when everything's on the front. But I have experienced the um, what is the Meta device called? The Quest Pro. I feel like it keeps changing.
Yeah.
Quest, whatever Meta's device is, their VR headset. I have worn that, and I found that much more difficult to wear. I don't
Okay.
know why, but um, it's a lot, but I found it okay. It could I do it for 3 hours, 2 hours? Probably not, and I'd probably end up getting strained. It is challenging if you have muscle weakness in your head, your neck area, like I do. Um, but I think with all the things that they've crammed in there, and I think it's okay. It is a heavy device though, and then you also have a separate 350 gram battery, which I just clipped onto the back of my wheelchair, so it was a non-factor, but it is there as well.
For somebody that does use it for multimedia, though, I'm thinking, because you mentioned in the stadium, if you looked up, you'd look at the ceiling. If you were to use it in your power chair, to take the weight off, tilt back, would you be looking at the ceiling?
You've identified the reason I returned it.
Oh, really?
Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, I had secondary hopes for it, which were productivity. When I'm lying in bed, if I'm not feeling well, I need to get pressure off, my backside. And I still want to be able to do some work because mentally I'm all there. I just need a break for the body. I was hoping to be able to lie down and do some work. But the problem I encountered was you are not currently able to set a custom horizon for the device, meaning that as you're lying down with the headset facing the ceiling, you're not able to reorient around that new kind of normal, meaning that everything is still down at your feet. All the windows start down at your feet. If you open up one of the theater virtual environments and try and watch a movie, the screen is down at your feet and you can't move it. So that was the reason, I think I returned it on day 4. I wanted to try in bed. I wasn't feeling that great that day. Okay, let's try it.
Yeah.
And then put it on, and it was almost impossible to use, because I've got like the keyboard popping up, pop up near my feet. I can't see it. I've got new windows opening. As I open apps, they're opening at my feet. I can't move them because I can't see the UI element that allows you to click and drag, which is at the bottom of the window. So I think that was, I purchased the device. It's an extremely expensive device, and I was looking for. I wasn't looking for a reason to return it, but I was looking for flaws that would be a deal breaker. And this immediately, I was like, oh, it was heartbreaking because using it up and in my wheelchair upright, it was an awesome experience being able to interact. It was very, there were problems and there was quirks, but overall it was nice to use, and it was fun. It was cool. But then trying to use it lying down and not being able to kind of tell the device, this is my new normal position. I'm lying down right now.
Yeah.
I want things to default to in front of me, which is now on the ceiling. That did not work. It's not possible with the Vision Pro as of yet.
It seems like such an oversight. With their phones, you can lock rotation and kind of keep things in the view you want.
Yeah.
Like be able to lock that screen and just kind of lay back and relax and enjoy. Seems fairly obvious.
It does.
But you could prop yourself up. You could lean your head forward, or you could sit on some pillows, or you could start sitting up and then move it up and then lie down. So there are a lot of options. I guess that is how people are making it work. And these options, they just don't work for me. So that was the just a huge deal breaker, and I would not consider purchasing any future iterations of the device, or purchasing it again if there was a software update, unless that was integrated. Nor would I recommend it for anybody who intends to use it lying down. If you're a person with a disability, I would not recommend it. If your primary purpose, or if you intend to spend significant time lying down, I would not recommend it.
Yeah, that's such a shame because that was that was my plan, was to wear it in bed. It simply because of the weight that would be a lot less of an issue lying down flat. So that's unfortunate. But that it does seem like a simple fix that the developers could work on and implement that like horizon calibration that would solve a lot of the issues.
Yes, it
So
would.
what what about the elephant in the room? What about the cost of this device? Because it's not
Yeah.
cheap.
No. So I'll just tell you how much I spent on it because it's publicly available. After taxes, I spent $5,600 on this device. And then to get 2 years of Apple Care is $700.
Wow.
Which
Um,
for a wearable device, you need that
yeah.
coverage for
So
sure.
I got a month of Apple Care because I was like, well, if I drop this on day one, well, geez. Um, yeah, it is an outrageous amount of money that I think really is I think this device is for enthusiasts right now or
Yes.
people who have money to burn. It is not an everyday need by any means, or like an iPhone is, or a phone in general, I should say.
Yeah.
It costs an outrageous amount of money, just plain and simple. And unless you expect to get serious use out of it, it is not worth it. And because I could not use it for that real purpose I was hoping for, that real being able to lie down but still get some work done. It was just a complete no-go. I couldn't fork over what would be $6,400, probably 65. I bought a little accessory to attach the battery onto my chair. So if I had purchased the 2 years of Apple Care, it probably would have been $6,500 Canadian all in, which is just an unfathomable amount of money for a gadget that is first generation. So
And that's why it costs so much, is because it is first gen, and the price will go down, as with all like wearable devices and phones, etc. But yeah, it is quite expensive.
I understand the price. Technically, I think technically it's uh, leaps and bounds above some other competitors and similar devices. For example, the pass through, meaning while you have the device on, you can still see through it. And experiencing Meta's device, it was kind of like a grayscale kind of approximation. It was like you're looking through like snow on an old TV when it's not on channel 3 when you're trying to play video games or whatever. Um, Whereas with the Vision Pro, it was, you could tell you were looking through a device, but it was clear. You could make out, I could move around, no problem. It was responsive. Overall, I understand why it costs that much. I don't like it. Um, but as a technical achievement, I think it's amazing.
Okay, so if they were able to adjust or calibrate the horizon, would you have kept the device?
I would have kept it longer.
Okay,
I think I would have. So Apple's standard return policy is 2 weeks. I
yes.
think I probably would have pushed into that 2 week area, or just shy of 2 weeks, just to see what can I really do with this. Maybe I dedicate a day and just say I feel fine, but I'm going to stay in bed and see if I can actually use this
Right.
to get some actual work done. If I need to be in bed in the future when I'm not feeling well. So I think if that had all worked fine, if I could have used it in bed, I would have taken a lot more time to fully explore, experience, and get used to it, and um, see if it was right for me. But not being able to set the horizon was just a complete deal breaker.
But once they take care of that issue, once they bring the weight of it down, the cost of it down, is it a game changer?
Yes, yeah, I think a game changer as a person with a disability. Yes, I
Yeah.
think because you can control it with your eyes. And I know from a lot of our members with high level quadriplegia or advanced ALS, a lot of the times eyes are the last thing they've got, or is just the best tool. And being able to move and The eye tracking is perfect. It is perfect. Being able to move your eyes and look at what you want to do and have it work is awesome. And then I paired in the ability to use the Switch with it, and I was using the Vision Pro faster than I can use my phone. The phone, I still gotta wait for it to scan through the different UI elements as I'm using Switch control. With the Vision Pro and the Switch, I just look at what I want. I click just like a computer mouse. So I think once the accessibility features are more refined as it goes through software iterations, and hopefully they continue to produce them, because I understand it didn't do too well in terms of sales. But if they continue to produce version 2, version 3 of the Vision Pro, and the weight and hopefully the cost go down, I think it becomes a very attractive purchase for somebody who has difficulty or is unable to use more conventional means to control their computing devices. I think it is very attractive.
You say you were able to control it faster than your computer? Like being able to look at something and then click. That's next level for people with disabilities.
Faster than my computer. Well, right now I'm still using a standard computer mouse. It is a very ultra light mouse, and I've got the sensitivity cranked up on it, so I don't have a lot of movement left in my hands, but I am still using a traditional computer mouse. Um, I think yes and no. If it comes to just clicking on something, absolutely. The Vision Pro is faster. But with the Vision Pro and with your desktop computer, you have to take into account clicking and dragging, or clicking and holding,
Yes.
which is something that you can't really do with Switch control. You can do it through the Switch control menu, but that's several more clicks to engage. Other than the default tap, you have to engage, then a tap and hold, and then move things. So yes and no. If you just want to click something, yes. If you want to click and then drag something, which is especially important in the Vision Pro, when you've got these windows taking up your room and you want taking up your field of view, and you want to move them or resize them, then you have to go that second level into the Switch control menu, into the gestures to tap and hold, and then you can do it again with your eyesight. But yeah,
My mind is running wild here, from using it as a communication device to
yeah,
driving chairs to,
yeah,
using the pass through to
yeah,
look at the light and dim it and brighten it. It's just, oh
sure.
man.
I think all of that is sure. Like it's not there yet by any
Yeah.
means, but I if Apple continues to support the product and it continues to develop in the right direction, I think that is very feasible. And you also need a longer charge on that battery, because I think it lasts about 2 hours, as is, if that, and it is brutal on the battery. But um, if it was lighter and more refined, I can see it being, as I said before, I can find it being extremely useful for people with disabilities and our members, to do a variety of things like communicate. At its most basic, being able to use your eyes to type, and do things is, for some people that's life changing. Um, I don't think it's life changing yet, but I think it could be.
Very promising. I'm excited to see what the next iteration looks like, and because it's only going to get better from this point. So, very 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 cool technology.
Awesome. Well, Taylor, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your journey with the Apple Vision Pro so far. We appreciate all the information and you sharing. It's fantastic. And as always, like, subscribe, and join us next time.